The following thoughts on Hoppe Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Vote for Hoppe Hour as best local podcast by the Creative Loafing Tampa. Spread the word.
Are you feeling classy today? Sit down, pour a glass of wine, and listen to Hoppe Hour.
You're tuned in to Hoppe Hour, an hour where Hoppe rants about something. Sit back and listen in. Hoppe Hour is on now. Hoppe Hour is on now.
This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. And for the next hour, I will attempt to change the way you think. For the next hour, I will attempt to entertain you. Maybe you have this plugged into your aux cord and traffic is awful. I want this to make your day. Or maybe you're listening on Spreaker.com/user/Ryan Hoppe and your boss is annoying you and you want to have a pick-me-up. I want this show to be the pick-me-up. And tweet at me if you want to get your thoughts in. At Ryan Hoppe Radio. But of course, it's a tradition. Let's let the beat drop. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Gotta let that beat drop. God, I love doing that. Some people said they love it, and some people say they get sick of it. To me, it's me being me, you know? All right. We have so much to get into, but go to my Twitter. I tweeted it out at Ryan Hoppe Radio. Support local businesses like one in Duluth, Minnesota. I don't even have to try and do the Midwest accent from Minnesota because I have it from Chicago. My guy, Nicholas Seymour of Solis Graphics, has Hoppe Hour decals that you can buy. It's $4 and you can spread the word in whatever city you are in. So check it out. Also, vote Hoppe Hour as best local podcast in the Tampa Bay area by the Creative Loafing. It's not hard. I have the URL set up and everything so the shenanigans are not hard to get. tinyurl.com/vote Hoppe Hour. That is tinyurl.com/vote Hoppe Hour. We have so much to get into. So let's begin with this. Everyone's favorite fake Christian from 19 Kids and Counting on TLC, which is now canceled, Josh Duggar, is in a bit of more trouble. He isn't showing up to his Christian rehab. Ridiculous. Like, we're going to rip on him for this? For not going to a rehab because he likes to have sex and isn't exactly going along with the rules of being Christian? That's so dumb. So I will get into that. Here's my thing. I'm not going to sit here and rip on Christians because for the most part, they are great people. My mom's a Christian. My dad was a devout Catholic, and that's an understatement. He was a devout Catholic. So most Catholics, most Christians, most religious people, it brings them something in their life. They're really good people. But what comes with that comes with people who are hypocrites, who are scumbags, who are leeches, who are fake, who are phonies, who are douchebags, and who are just so annoying. And what annoys me is these focus groups, is these preachers, these Christians, these public figures that are so against premarital sex, that are so against watching porn, that preach about it. Like Billy Graham's grandson from 4 months ago was talking about how you should wait till you get married. So his wife cheated on him, so then he banged out a girl from the church. He's a phony. And I'm not going to compare this to that, but you have all the priests that touch kids and people just try to put it under the rug and forget it's not there. I'm just saying there's so much wrong with religion. And nothing annoys me more than when you make money off of a reality show on a trashy network like TLC, and you're Josh Duggar, and you have 19 kids in the family, and you're the eldest, and everyone looks up to you. and you're on a site like Ashley Madison, and you're cheating on your wife, and there's rumors that you may have been with a porn actress, this and that. Here's my thing. I don't care what you do. I'm not even atheist. I'm not even agnostic. I don't know what I am. I'm free-willing. I'm here. I'm doing a podcast. That's what my religion is, just going by each second that I'm alive. But I just don't get why these Christians have to be so in your face about sex. Like, I don't care what you do. If you want to cheat on your wife on Ashley Madison, I will look down on you. I will think you're a scumbag. But I look down on you even more when you preach about it and you make it your main thing on the show about being Christian, about being this and that. And then you cheat on your wife. You're the biggest phony. And the other part that annoys me is they're like, please respect our privacy at this time. You are on TLC. You're one of the most watched shows on cable. You have over 500,000 likes on Facebook. Over 500,000 likes. You're public figures. Sorry if there's not going to be privacy when the eldest brother is cheating on his wife on Ashley Madison and possibly banging a porn star. Sorry if the privacy won't be there in 2015 when there's social media and news is breaking all the time. So I'm sure they're not happy that this news came out. And this is from HollywoodLife.com. This is by Bonnie Fowler's website, and it's written by Michelle Fee. Here's the headline. Josh Duggar missing? Disgraced reality star, a no-show at Christian rehab. Really shows how dedicated of a Christian he is. Really shows how dedicated he is to improving his life, improving his image, fixing his marriage, being a better Christian, asking for forgiveness. Like when you act like you're all Christian on a TV show, you get caught cheating, and then you're supposed to go to this rehab for the show, and you don't go. You're quite the Christian, Josh Duggar. Just saying. It says here, where is Josh Duggar, the troubled reality star? There's nothing troubled about him. He's not on cocaine. He didn't get a DUI. He didn't get manslaughter. He didn't do anything. The only thing troubled about Josh Duggar is that he cheated on his wife and he acted like this moral Christian. I'm not saying it's good to cheat on your wife. It's a scumbag move. But if cheating on your wife and watching porn makes you troubled, then half of the NBA is troubled. I'm just saying, a lot of celebrities, when the temptation comes to them, no pun intended, they cheat. It says here, however, since he was supposed to go to rehab on August 25th, Josh hasn't been to, this is the best part, any of the meetings, causing concern for his whereabouts. It says here, Josh Duggar, 27, and with his bald spot in his face, he looks like he's 34 years old. I can't get over that he's 27. It says here, Josh Duggar's life been in a downward spiral ever since he confessed to molesting family members at a young age and then cheating on his wife using the Ashley Madison website. Since then, his family revealed that the troubled reality star checked into a Christian rehab facility on August 25th. However, Josh hasn't showed up to any of the mandatory meetings or church services. I would love to be in one of those meetings. Like, we all know what the everyday like AA meeting is for like alcoholics. It's people, my mom was a drinker. Or they say, I drink because I'm nervous in social situations. Or we can even kind of picture what like a meeting would be for like Heroin Anonymous or Weed Anonymous. But can you imagine the vibe of a anonymous meeting for people who are Christian, who have been banging out their wife. I mean, imagine that vibe. Let's say you're a preacher or you go to a church and you're just there because you want to try and save your marriage. I mean, I would love to be a fly on that wall. It must be quite the grand old time. But if you think about it, these anonymous classes and these meetings and these churchgoers that go to this quote-unquote rehab, if you think about it, it really is phony because we don't know if God's real, so you're sort of basing it off of hope and off of a belief. So I think marriage counseling and maybe getting a computer chip where he can't watch porn would be more effective because he obviously doesn't want to go to this camp, this rehab, since he didn't show up. I mean, it's comical. This is something out of a sitcom. This is an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which would make sense because reality shows usually aren't real. So this makes sense. It's like fake. It's scripted. It's stupid. All right. It says here, eyewitnesses are claiming Josh hasn't been showing up at the facility in Rockford, Illinois, where he is a patient at. An eyewitness told us on August 28th that Josh was absent from the large group of people who arrived at the North Love Baptist Church, the facility's affiliate, for a local chapter meeting. The mandatory meeting, it wasn't the only thing that he missed. The former TLC reality star reportedly also missed both church services on August 30th. What a phony. What a hypocrite. If you were to pretend to try to change your life around, then maybe I would have half respect for you. But you go on this show, you act like this role model, you're banging out girls from AshleyMadison.com, you're possibly with a porn actress, you claim you want to get your life around, and then you don't show up to the mandatory meeting that you claim you're going to go to. This guy doesn't care. He's not Christian. I bet he was forced into it by his parents, so he just went along with it. He liked the money. He liked the paychecks that you get from being on a show on TLC that has very high ratings. I mean, he's a phony. This isn't a Christian. This is a celebrity. This is an imbecile. My God. It says here, Josh definitely wasn't there, which wouldn't be hard to miss because you're going, where's that guy from TLC? Where's that guy from TLC? It's not like you can just sort of skip a church meeting. You can maybe skip it if you're some anonymous dude from a church in Madison, Wisconsin, and no one's ever heard of you, and you were banging out a bunch of cheerleaders from Wisconsin University. If nobody knows who you are, you can maybe skip a few meetings and nobody would know. But when you're Josh Duggar, everybody's going to be on the lookout for you. Everyone's going to be wondering where you are. So if he thought he could just not go and everything would be good, he is wrong. You know TMZ had plants in there. They had spies looking for him. I mean, this is so stupid. This whole thing is ridiculous. Yeah, he definitely wasn't here, said an onlooker. It was very strange. Was it strange that he didn't want to sit in a meeting and hear about sex, and he'd rather be having sex than pretending that he didn't like it? Here's my thing. He doesn't even feel sorry. He claimed that he was all moral on the show, and then he's banging out girls from AshleyMadison.com, like I said. Then he said he was sorry and he would get his life together. Then he doesn't show up at the meeting. It's very obvious the guy likes to have sex. He does. And I just don't know why we're putting him at this high ranking, like, oh, he should go to these meetings. The guy likes to have sex. He probably isn't a real Christian. He probably was forced to do all of this because of his parents. I'm not comparing myself to him, but for 17 to 18 years, I was forced to go to Catholic church every single week. My parents tried to put me in camps and groups. I never liked it. I'm not atheist. I just don't know what I am. But It'd be like if I was on a show and I had to go along with, oh yeah, I'm Christian, I never watch adult shows, I never watch porn. Ridiculous. Here's my thing. Before I get to this next article about it, because some people are outraged on blogs. I want to read these comments from these Christian blogs. He's not addicted to porn. They're just saying that to fix his public image. You know who's addicted to porn? Jared Fogle from Subway. Now, that's a sick addiction. I'm not saying porn addiction isn't real, but it's not like they went in his house and found 1,500 videos. The dude liked to crank it, and the dude liked to have sex with women. And just because he's a public figure, we're criticizing him. He really is no different than the other 30 million people that were on that site. I mean, seriously. All right, here's what the other article said. And here's what the caption says. Josh Duggar ripped for lifestyle of evil. Yeah, he's so evil. Because when I think of evil, I think of James Holmes. I think of school shooters. I think of people who shoot each other and kill each other. I think of terrorists. I don't think of people who cheat on their wife and watch porn. That's a scumbag move. You're a dirtbag. You're a loser. But by no means do I think of the word evil when I think of someone who likes sex. That's just me. I don't know if you guys feel differently. But to me, someone who likes to watch porn and someone who likes to bang out girls, to me, that doesn't come off evil. All right. Here's what the quote says from his in-law, Michael Seawald. He has shown to be a fraud. Another Duggar relative is speaking out against Josh Duggar, currently in a faith-based rehab, but has gone missing all of a sudden because he cheated on his wife, Ann, and is addicted to pornography, according to sources. Just shut up. You're not doing yourself any good when you're writing blogs. I'm pretty sure Mr. and Mrs. Duggar aren't happy that some in-law is commenting on them. Just shut your mouth. When things go into turmoil or something bad happens, that's when you need to just kind of hide under a rock and just let things sweep away. Remember Brian Williams from NBC and how he lied about everything? Do you remember the Malaysian airplane? Do you remember Jared Fogle? Do you remember Jerry Sandusky? Do you remember this and that? Do you remember when Britney Spears went bald? We cover news, right? And then we move on to the next thing that we are outraged from. These in-laws and these family members that keep talking about him and keep trying to go into like protective mode, you're just making it go on longer and longer. You're just dragging it out. And it's not like if you write this blog, it's going to change your minds. Like if you didn't write it, it's not going to be any different. You guys are scumbags. You guys are liars. You guys are obviously made for TV, but you're not real Christians. My mom, who when she has the chance to do the rosary, she prays every day. She has a cassette tape that she listens to while going to church. She prays all the time. And when she's not working, she goes to Mass every day. She is more of a Christian and she is more religious and holy and spiritual than these scumbag leeches. So shut your mouth and quit trying to go into like protective mode and trying to prove us something. You're not doing anything. We don't care. Josh's in-law, Michael Seawald, took to his blog Monday to blast the father of four as a pretender for, and I quote, for a convert and extensive lifestyle of evil and bringing shame on God's holy name and the Christian faith. All right. Maybe when you're on a TV show, that does bring shame. But to me, when you have priests touching other kids, that brings more shame, and that's more evil because you are touching kids. You are ruining their lives forever. To me, that's more evil than when a guy who's not really a Christian is banging out girls. Just saying. Here's what it says. Though Josh's in-law admits he doesn't know the former Research Council lobbyist intimately, Seawald condemns the reality star. What? You don't even know him personally, so where do you have the room to comment? Shut your mouth. This is a douchebag who wants his 15 seconds of fame. Look at me. Check out my blog. I'm all religious. He wants to somehow gain fame from this. How about you go in the corner and you say a few prayers for him, and you don't waste the time of day you are given to write this outraged blog. Nobody's impressed. Nobody's like, hey, I wonder what Michael Seawald does. I've been meaning to go to church, so now Michael Seawald's going to make me go to church. Father, Son, Holy Michael Seawald. Writing this blog did nothing, dude. You just come off desperate, and you come off like you're trying to prove something, and you're doing nothing, especially when you don't know him personally. Shut up. Back to the quote. By his hypocrisy, he blasphemed the name of God, declared the father of seven. Man, what is it with this family and just popping out kids? My God. No wonder the kids are crazy. You're so focused on religion. Maybe you should be focused on parenting and not about God. We don't even know if he's real. You have 19 real kids in front of you. You have 7 real kids in front of you. Focus on being parents, because when these religious parents are so strict, they end up rebelling, and that's when they end up getting slutty, or they end up, I don't know, going on AshleyMadison.com when you force religion down your throat. Okay, I would say I'm not a good person. I'm a little bit selfish, but I'm not a bad person. But I did rebel against my dad. He hated adult cartoons. He hated shows like Sons of Anarchy or The Wire. So you know what I did? I would rent it from the library. I made a separate account of a fake address, and I would hide the DVDs in my pillow and watch them when he went to bed. And when he called me, I was grounded for 2 weeks. I love my dad. I miss him every single day. I wish I could bring him back. I sort of miss how much of a hard ass and how strict he was. But him being such a hard ass about that made me rebel. Now, I wasn't banging out girls or touching kids, but I was rebelling. I was watching Family Guy and South Park and Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I'm just saying, when you force religion down your kid's throat, nothing good happens. All right, back to the quote. Josh claimed to be a Christian, but by his deeds, he has suggested otherwise. Well, no duh, Sherlock. Really? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that the guy who may have been banging out a porn actress and was on AshleyMadison.com and who possibly touched a few kids, it's not rocket scientist to know that he might not be Christian, especially when he's on a reality show. Most Christians are low-key ridiculous. I don't know what to say anymore. Like, this is comical. This is funny. It just makes me giggle. Like, you get so focused on this dude. You have 7 kids. I bet they're smoking weed. And they dress up like they're proper when they go out in public, but then your daughter takes off her jeans and is in short shorts. How about you focus on being a better parent and a better husband? And who's to say that this guy isn't banging out girls on the side? Guys who are so focused on ripping people are the ones that are usually doing it. Just saying. It says here, it's not to say Seawald isn't willing to forgive Josh. As wicked as Josh has been and any other sinner, forgiveness can be obtained, says Michael Seawald. Glad to hear that. He couldn't keep living his life unless he heard from his in-law that he didn't even know. If his in-law is willing to forgive him, that's all he needed to know. Okay. It's just so silly, man. It's just, like, it's just this dude trying to get his 15 minutes of fame. Like, do you really think he cares about Josh? If he cared about Josh so much, why don't you reach out to him yourself, you douchebag? Why are you writing a blog? Why are you hiding behind a keyboard? If you cared about Josh so much, then you would have got to know him. The guy's been around for 27 years. He's 27 years old. He's sort of a family member. He's an in-law. If you liked him or cared about him, you would have reached out. This is just a guy who is looking for his 15 minutes of fame. This is a family that is just a bunch of goddamn phonies. Enough of you.
Next on Hoppe Hour.
This next thing I'm going to talk about involves a mother who really isn't a good parent whatsoever. And a lot of people might think that what I'm about to tell you after the break in this news article never happens. But trust me, it happens more than ever, and it's very prominent. And I will get to that and more after this. But first, tweet at me your thought at Ryan Hoppe Radio. We will be right back on Hoppe Hour after this. Hang on.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.
Ryan Stuppridge and Ryan Risky host the Ryan and Ryan Power Hour, Fridays from 12 to 2 p.m. on SportsTownChicago.com. We're saving the universe with our sports talk. Cubs, Sox, Bulls, Bears, Blackhawks, DePaul Blue Demons? Yes, it's all right here on Ryan and Ryan. If it's not impossible for you, listen to the Ryan and Ryan Power Hour every Friday from 12 to 2 p.m. on SportsTownChicago.com.
It's for every one of us. Stand for every one of us. It's saving the body and every flash.
Hi, this is Ryan Stuppridge, one of the hosts of the Sports Renegades, Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. on SportsTownChicago.com. On the Sports Renegades, Ryan Risky and I will discuss all the hot sports topics and all your favorite Chicago sports. Chicago baseball is back and better than ever, so look no further than the Sports Renegades to get your Cubs and White Sox fix. We're also discussing the Chicago Blackhawks as they try to chase down their third Stanley Cup in 6 years. Ryan Stuppridge and Ryan Risky bring you all the best on the Sports Renegades, Thursdays, 6 to 8 p.m. on SportsTownChicago.com. The Sports Renegades with hosts Ryan Stuppridge and Ryan Risky every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. on SportsTownChicago.com. We'll give you the scoop on all your Chicago sports teams as well as all the national news going on. So for the best sports talk around, look no further than the Sports Renegades with hosts Ryan Stuppridge and Ryan Risky every Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. on SportsTownChicago.com.
Hoppe ran so hard he starts to sweat. It's basically his cardio. Hoppe Hour is on. It's time to turn Hoppe on.
All right, welcome back to Hoppe Hour. Tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. Let me know what you thought of my last rant about Josh Duggar and phony baloney Christians. Also, vote for Hoppe Hour as best local podcast by the Creative Loafing Best of the Bay 25th anniversary. It's not hard. Go to tinyurl.com/vote Hoppe Hour. That is tinyurl.com/vote Hoppe Hour. Best local podcast. And then just click Hoppe Hour. Also, support local businesses at hoppesroll.com. We have a new feature, Friends of Hoppe, and I will plug that later. But at that tab, you can buy Hoppe Hour decals so you can promote the show anywhere in the world. I don't care if you're in Gary, Indiana, or Auckland, New Zealand. You can buy a Hoppe Hour decals. It's brought to you by Soli's Graphics and my guy, Nicholas Seymour of Duluth, Minnesota. All right, this next article I'm about to read to you, people who are middle-aged might think that this never happens. But trust me when I say this is very prominent, especially when you live in a suburb and there's really nothing to do. It says here, and this is from Portland, Oregon, and it's from KOIN6. Woman accused of drinking, smoking pot with kids. Police reveal some of the kids openly smoked marijuana with Shannon Hogan, and she has no relation to Hulk Hogan, brother. And this is from Lincoln City, Oregon. A 34-year-old woman, which I will tweet out the picture at Ryan Hoppe Radio. She does not look like she is 34 years old. I don't know what she has done in her life, but you can definitely tell she's done a lot. She's very washed up. There's no way she's 34, man. I've seen women who are 45 years old that look better than her, but that's a side note. A 34-year-old woman is accused of taking money from an 11-year-old girl and buying 5 youth alcohol and then letting them smoke some pot, according to police. Shannon Hogan is charged with 1 count of second-degree child neglect and 5 accounts of furnishing alcohol to a person under the age of 21. Police say that they also revealed that some of the kids openly smoked marijuana with Hogan in the same room. Charges were filed late last week. And this is very prominent, especially in suburbs. I never was invited to parties because I wasn't cool enough. I wasn't a jock. I wasn't in plays. I was just kind of the average Joe weirdo geek. And I'm just being honest. But I remember seeing videos, and luckily these parents never got in trouble, but I remember seeing this one video in class, and it was a mom rolling up a blunt of marijuana for the kids, and she lights it up and takes 2 hits and goes, "Who wants it? Say Marco first." And then the kids are like, "Polo." And the kids just begin smoking, and they're going around in a circle smoking with this MILF. I mean, this is very prominent. And there were always those drinking parties. And I went to a few, we all did, and I remember there was one, and the mom was there, and she was so worried, and she's like, "Please don't make a lot of noise. I don't want the cops to come." I mean, this is very prominent, and I don't want anybody to think that this is something that never happens. This is very prominent. How do you think the kids get the alcohol if they're not 21 years old? The parents buy it for them, or some weirdo outside of the liquor shop goes, "Hey, I'll buy you booze." Just saying. It says here, according to court documents, the group of juveniles all met at Hogan's residence to hang out with their 13-year-old son. An 11-year-old was also present and told police that they had given Hogan money for booze, and that Hogan went to the shop and purchased alcohol for the children. They also said that Hogan was intoxicated with the children. Police determined that there was an 11-year-old girl, a 12-year-old girl, and 3 15-year-olds, 2 boys and a girl who attended the party. All right, here's my thing. I don't want anybody out there to think that it's good to underage drink. It can lead to problems in real life. There's a lot of kids from my high school who are such cool kids who would drink, and now they're not doing anything with their life. I'm not applauding myself or patting myself on the back. I'm just saying it was the kids who partied so hard that time flew by and they didn't know what they wanted to do with their life. They went to a community college. They kept partying, and now they're working for like a freelance company. Like, partying in high school is fine, but to a point, it kind of takes over a life. But there's a huge difference between being, 17 years old and drinking, or even being 16 and then being 12 years old. What are you in? 6th grade, 7th grade, and booze is being bought for you, or you're a freshman in high school. Like, shame on this mom. It would be just as bad if this mom was buying it for 18-year-olds. But when you're buying it for kids in middle school and you're smoking weed with them, the kids should be taken away from you. Because we don't know what you're doing with the kids when you haven't been caught yet. Are you bringing guys home and you're banging them out? I'm just saying, if you're smoking weed with 12-year-olds and you're buying them booze, who knows what the limit is? Maybe the sky is the limit. Hey, kids, you want to try some nose candy? My friend Jeff down the block in the shack can get us some good Coke. Hey, kids, you want to go to a rave tonight? Let's have one here. I'll buy some Molly for us. Pop the Molly. Let's sweat. Woo! I mean, is there a limit with this mom? I'm just saying, like, this is ridiculous. This mom should have the kids taken away from her because we don't know what the limit is. I'm just saying, it's comical. I mean, I'm sure she means well and she's just trying to be the mom who's cool. But one of the biggest problems now in 2015, and I bet it's been a problem for a while, but now it's getting prominent, is parents are afraid to be disciplinarians and they're becoming their kids' best friends. And this is a perfect example. She's buying booze and smoking weed with 12-year-olds. 12-year-olds. I mean, You should be buying them video games. I mean, 10 years ago, parents were condemned when they let their kids play Grand Theft San Andreas. Now you look back a decade and you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. That was like making your kids a nice hot cup of cocoa and then watching VeggieTales with them. That's how moderate it was to buy them a rated M game, because now in 2015 from 2005, people are smoking weed with their kids. I'm sure it happened years ago, but it just seems like parents are getting lazier and it's just things are going down a bad path. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? You hear this music? Means it's time to wrap up Hoppe Hour. I know you're so disappointed. We have so much that I need to plug. HoppiesWorld.com. There is a tab called Friends of Hoppe. And those are the quote-unquote sponsors or friends of the show. The first one that I want to plug is my guy, Nicholas Seymour. He makes legit decals. He makes legit things at his company, Soli's Graphics. And if you want to buy a Hoppe Hour decal for $4, just go to the Friends of Hoppe tab at hoppiesworld.com and buy it today. Or if you want to get in contact with him, it's solidesign@gmail.com. And he will make decals for you for anything you want. And he is very flexible, and he's a good guy. He is reliable. Trust me, if I recommend him, that means he's good. Also at the Friends of Hoppe tab at hoppiesworld.com, my guy James Geiger, who is a manager of a local band here in Tampa Bay, the Cruz Brothers. He has James, Geiger photo.com, and he takes pictures, and he will be taking headshots for me. And I'm very excited. I'm actually very pumped to have this happen. If you want him to take pictures at your wedding or at an event or anything, maybe you want headshots, James, Geiger photo.com. And lastly, at the Friends of Hoppe tab at hoppiesworld.com, Brian Matthews, who is a local artist and cartoonist from the Tampa Bay area. I met him at a Ferg's Live event. He drew me a badass caricature of myself. It looks so much like me. So go to the Friends of Hoppe page at hoppiesworld.com and click on his link, and you can hire him for parties, or maybe you want to have a caricature of yourself. I recommend Brian. Also, when it comes to my show, vote Hoppe Hour as best local podcast in the Tampa Bay area. It's not hard. Go to tinyurl.com/vote Hoppe Hour. That is tinyurl.com/vote Hoppe Hour. There you can vote us as best local podcast. And while you're at it, best local blogger, my guy TM Powell from the CW44. Best local morning show, Mike Helta. Best radio would be 102.5 The Bone. Best local citizen, Jacob 2 times, and more. It's all at tinyurl.com/vote Hoppe Hour. And that is brought to you by the Creative Loafing of Tampa Bay. Best of the Bay 25th anniversary. Also, download my app, Hoppe Radio, in the iOS shop for any Apple device. It's badass. You can listen to the show on demand, and when I do these shows live, you can listen to it live anywhere in the world, and you can chat me. HoppeRadio.com, HoppiesRoad.com, and also I forgot, if you have an Android device, just search up TuneIn, Stitcher, or Spreaker, and search up Hoppe Radio, and you can listen if you have an Android device. Finally, tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. I will tweet out a pic of that mom, and it just has my rants and my musings during the week, and it's just me promoting things, and it's just a great Twitter account at Ryan Hoppe Radio. And if you want to be promoted by Hoppe Hour, or you want to collaborate on something, it's not hard. Just send me an email. Or maybe you want to send a dirty picture. It's not hard. Ryan at HoppeRadio.com. This has been Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. I appreciate you listening. Spread the word. Have a good rest of the day. Bye.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.
This is an official broadcast of Hoppe Radio. For more info, check out hopperadio.com and hoppiesworld.com.
Nueve días.
$8.
There's just $200 here, Nappy.
Seriously? $200? I can barely let the porn shoot for that much.
Porn shoot?
Yeah, we direct pornos.
You teach him El Porno yet, Juby? Huh?
Shut up!
What is this word? El porno.
It means wealth. It's how you use your body to make money. Isn't that right, Juby? Tell him. Tell him with your mouth.
Shut up, Nappy. Where's Mappy?
We left his ass back at the house. Who needs maps anymore? I'll tell you where to go. I'm Gypsy, the GPS.
Gypsy can run the camera. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll run the camera. I'll run it good.
Hey, did I see Jubilee over here? Where is she? Where is she?